Hello there. My name is Mr. Witmyer and I am one of the middle school teachers here at Heritage. Anyways, welcome to my classroom. I am here working on getting it all ready. And I'm really excited about this school year because I know that God is at work in the life of our school, and I'm excited for all the ways that we can learn about Him and how He works in each of our class subjects. I'm also excited about how we moved from a junior high to a middle school this year. There will be a lot of changes, but we're glad to see how this will improve the education of the students. Now, in the past, during back to school night, the junior high teachers would all get together in the youth room and hold multiple 15-minute sessions for groups of families to come in and hear the basics of the junior high, the teachers, and the classes. But this year, and still trying to be a little more careful during the COVID situation, we decided to do these videos and then be available in our individual classrooms on back to school night for questions and to meet the families. Now, some of you may not really know much about me, so I'd like to share some about what I do and a little background information. I currently teach 7 middle school classes: 6th, 7th, 8th grade Bible, 7th and 8th grade literature vocab, 7th world history, and 8th earth science. This is going to be my 5th year teaching at Heritage. My first 2 years, I was a part-time teacher, and in the summer of 2019, I was brought on as a full-time teacher. I love teaching, and I'm grateful that God has given me this passion and opportunity. In fact, the first time I realized teaching was a passion of mine was in high school. I began tutoring for community service, and some of my classmates came to me for tutoring. And I realized how amazing it was to see someone finally understand a concept after teaching them. I ended up having success with tutoring these classmates, and on an average, they would go from a D to a B or a C to an A in whatever subject I was helping them in. So this began a long journey of God preparing me to be a teacher. God has worked in my life from when I was very young. As I actually attended Heritage from preschool to 8th grade, I was a lifer. Then I went to Bakersfield Christian High School and I graduated as co-valedictorian. I then began to prepare for vocational ministry at California Baptist University, where I got my bachelor's degree. I then moved to Louisville, Kentucky for about 8 years, and while I was there, I went to the Southern Baptist Theological Seminary to earn my master's degree. Eventually, since being here at Heritage, I have obtained my ACSI Educator Certificate. Now, during college, seminary, and post-seminary, I worked for about 10 years in youth ministry, ministering to middle school and high school students. In all my ministry experience, teaching students was my main passion. And God used that experience to mold me into the teacher I am today. Now, I wanted to give you some general information about my classes. This first week of school, the first 3 days of school, we spend most of the time doing sort of an orientation to my classes and to middle school in general. This is just for all of us to get to know each other and the basics of my classes. Also, this is to get us all prepared to hit the ground running on the first Monday of the school year. There are 2 main things in my classes for this first week of school that I feel that everyone should know about. Number 1 is the syllabus, and number 2 is supplies. So let's talk about the syllabus, the class syllabus. I give out a simple 1-sheet syllabus, similar to this, front and back, and it's partly to get students kind of used to the idea of a syllabus for when they get to high school and college. Also, it provides the basics of how I approach my classes. Now, it's mainly focused on the Bible class because this is the first class that each student will have with me in a typical school day. But most of the information on there that's general applies to all of my classes. They will receive a syllabus on the first day of school, and we're going to go over it together. But they have until Friday to read over it and to sign it. A parent or guardian will also need to go over it and sign it. It will be due on the first Friday of the year, which is this first week, and they're going to need to turn it in on Friday to get those first points for the year. So that's the syllabus. The next thing is the class supplies. In each of my classes, there are some specific supplies that are key. In addition to the general supplies that, you probably got supply lists and just your basic general, there's basically some 3 key supplies that we need them to bring by Friday for my classes, because we're going to use some time on Friday getting them all set up for the year. The supplies are listed on the syllabus, but I wanted to go over them now. There are 3 of them, and the first one is a pocket folder. In each class, your student will have a pocket folder in classes with me. So if they have 2 classes, they'll need 2 folders, one for each class. Or if they have 3 classes, they'll need 3 folders, one for each class of mine. Preferably get the plastic kind because they're more durable, and it just needs to have the 2 internal pockets, like on this one. It can have other stuff, but ideally just keep it simple if you can. They just mainly need to have those 2 main pockets on the inside. It can be any color, it can be any design, as long as it's appropriate. They can use it to kind of express themselves or whatever they want to do. We're going to use these folders to help us organize coursework for the entire school year, and it's going to be graded almost every week. Now we're going to be using them in many different ways, but so it is really important that they have them and keep them throughout the year. The next thing is the composition books. Same as the folders, each class your student has with me, they will need a comp book like this. So same thing, if they have 3 classes with me, they're gonna need 3 comp books, one for each class. They can be any color or any appropriate design, but they do need to be about this size, and they need to have some sort of lined paper on the inside. We don't want any blank ones or like graph paper or anything like that. They also need to be bound like this as your typical comp book, no spiral bound notebooks. The comp books are going to be used to take notes, class activities, and a lot more throughout the entire school year in each class. Now the last thing that I wanted to cover were tabs. Now what I mean by this is you're going to need to get a package of tabs similar to these. And we're going to use these in each of my classes. Now they only need 1 package total. They don't need 1 for each class, but just 1 package. They could be any color, appropriate design. It's preferred to have these stronger plastic kind. I've been using this package for a while now, but these are kind of stronger and they last longer. In fact, most of the time, if you get something like this, they'll last the entire school year. We want to kind of take those tabs and we want to use them, and we're only going to use a few per class. So 1 package should be sufficient, plus they're going to have extra now in case they lose a tab or it needs to be replaced, something like that throughout the year. What they're going to do is they're going to put these tabs in comp books and workbooks. As you might have seen when I had the comp book here earlier, there was a little tab sticking out. And these tabs provide a lot of benefits, but the one main thing is that it allows students to get to where we are in the books very quickly without spending too much time trying to find where we are in our comp books and our workbooks and stuff like that. So that's sort of why we do the tabs. Now that's the main information I wanted to share with you all. Any other details are going to be shared as needed throughout the year. So all that to say, I am excited to be back at school soon to minister and to teach the middle school students. My main goal is to help prepare the students academically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for a life of bringing glory to God. Parents, I ask you to pray for our school and the students as we move forward this year. Students, in addition to your school supplies, please bring with you a smile and a positive outlook as we go on the adventure of this new school year. I'll see you all soon. God bless.